That's some John Bush era Anthrax right there with Crush. John Bush can do no wrong.
John Bush rules, man. I love it.
Yep. I'm glad that he's been still so active with Armored Saint. I remember when Armored Saint came back with their comeback release about how long that been? It's been like 7 years, 8 years now.
Longer than?
Has it been 10 years?
I'm gonna look it up. Let's see here. Armored Saint. Where's the old Wikipedia? Wikipedia says he came back in 2000. They broke up in 91 and came back in 2000.
Yeah, I'm talking about their comeback record, though. Not
Revelation was the comeback record in 2000.
Yeah, I remember that, but I wasn't thinking that.
La Raza?
Yeah, La Raza.
2010.
Okay, so it's been 9 years.
Yeah.
You know, that they became active and touring and all that stuff again.
Okay.
And we had John Bush on the show for that.
Mm-hmm.
And we were talking to him, and he was just like, yeah, you know, this may just be a one-off type thing.
Yeah.
You know, but since then, obviously, they've put out, another record since then.
Quite a few great records since then, really.
Yeah, but if you think about it, though, John really, they were just doing this as the interest was there.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, if this doesn't do anything, we're not gonna, bank on our future on this.
Right.
But they continue working, and periodically you see them out there doing a tour.
Yeah.
And I've seen them, I think, 3 times over the last 9 years. And all 3 times just fantastic.
Oh, they're great, dude. They're so good live.
I saw them open up with, or they kind of co-headlined with Queensryche, and they were playing with Metal Church, and let's see, who else did I see them with? But,
Saxon.
It could have been.
Yeah, because they did the Saxon tour, too.
Yeah. So just seeing those guys out there playing, it was just like, man, John Bush still brings it.
Yeah, he's great. He's so good. Never a bad note even with that guy live. He's so good live, it isn't even funny.
Yeah. Very charismatic on stage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's a good one, man.
Yeah.
Big fan of John Bush.
Yeah, I like it. I never was an Anthrax fan, but I like the John Bush era.
Yeah, me too. I'm probably like you. I'm more of a Armored Saint guy than I am an Anthrax guy, although I love Anthrax too. But I love the John Bush Anthrax way more than I do the Joey era. Mm-hmm. I know that's sacrilegious to say that.
I feel the same way.
It's just the truth. Truth.
Yeah. Well, you sent something over here to me. You've been doing a shit ton of interviews recently.
Yeah, I have been.
And you talked about this on the show about a week or so ago. Mm-hmm. About how you talked to Bruno Ravel of Danger, and you were fucking up his name.
I felt so bad, man. I really felt awful about this because, this is 100% the product of doing too many interviews.
Yeah, or catching you early in the day, or you just really haven't gotten, going yet.
Yeah, and it really was. It was definitely early in the day. And I'm not making any excuses. I just fucking blew it. But, I felt so bad that I blew the name of the record and I blew the name of of him. All in 1 fucking second. And it's a real short clip, but it's funny just to, you just hear me go, oh, fuck, what an ass. I really felt like a dick.
Well, at least he had a good sense of humor.
It is your Classic Metal Show right here on theclassicmetalshow.com. That is brand new stuff from the Defiance. The name of that tune is The All-Nighter. That is from the album called Zoku Show. And
Zoku Show.
Zoku Show.
All right.
on the line from the Defiance is the bassist of the Defiance. He's also been known from Danger Danger, and there's probably a couple other records in your collection that he has played on. It is the one, the only. It is Bruce Ravel. Bruce, how are you, sir?
Hey, Bruce, what's happening?
What's up, Bruce?
Yeah, not Bruno, Bruce.
Oh, what a dick.
Hey, Bruno, did you ever think about maybe changing your name to Bruce so I don't sound like a dick?
What a dick. And then just scroll back just a little bit, because then you hear me as soon as I say it, I'm like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, there we
just
go.
know that I'm a dick.
It is your Classic Metal Show right here on the ClassicMetalShow.com. That is brand new stuff from the Defiance. The name of that tune is The All-Nighter. That is from the album called Zoku Show. And on the line from the Defiance is the bassist of the Defiance. He's also been known from Danger Danger, and there's probably a couple other records in your collection that he has played on. It is the one, the only. It is Bruce Ravel. Bruce, how are you, sir? Or Bruce, fuck. Fuck me. Let me try one more time.
Doing good, Chris. God. Bruno, and Zokusho. You got it.
Let's do one more time. All right.
How's it going, Chris?
It's good.
All right.
I'm going to start over. Here we go. Shit.
I've been there, man. Hello, Cleveland.
Yeah, no kidding. And that's where I am, so.
Yeah.
All right. All right, here we go.
So, Kusho.
Oh, hey, what's up, Bruce?
Hey, Bruce, what's up?
What a dick.
Bruce.
I just thought that was a funny one, and I was like, I'll wear that one. Why not? It is pretty funny.
Well, you got, again, I don't get to do as many interviews as you do, but, I've had a share over the years. Mm-hmm. And the thing is that most people could not do an interview.
Yeah, probably true.
If we were to grab anyone out of the chat room to do an interview with somebody and say, hey, I want you to interview this guy or girl or whomever, chances are I would say that they wouldn't be able to do it. Or they would do it, but they'd stumble through it, because it does take a certain knack and certain skill set to do an interview, at least something interesting.
Yeah, you definitely have to find the balance between the questions, the interview questions, and just chatting. Because if you do too much just chatting, then it ends up not covering what you need to cover. Mm-hmm. And if you do too much interview questions, it sounds like Natalie. It just stinks.
It's scripted.
Yeah, it's like, okay, so next question. It's like, that's awful. And it's the one, I say it all the time. It's the only thing that I do with this microphone that I actually assess. I don't care what I sound like when we do this show. When me and you do the show, I'm comfortable with whatever bullshit comes out of my mouth. And I don't worry about it, and I don't think about it and think, well, I got to improve and I got to stop saying right or I don't do any of that shit. I know a lot of people do. I don't. But with the interviews, I do listen back to every interview that I do. And I'm super critical of the interviews. It's the one thing that I want to be better than everybody at. And I don't know that I'm better than everybody, but I think, and I get a lot of feedback from a lot of different people that I am one of the better rock interviewers out there. Because I don't hide from questions, but I find a way to phrase them that, it doesn't punch the guy so far in the face that they just hang up, So, it is something I take pride in. And to just fuck up like that, I just was like, unbelievable.
You were horrified.
I was shocked, outraged, flabbergasted, and horrified.
Right. As you should be.
And I went to Facebook immediately asking that I would be fired for not knowing Bruno's name.
Well, here's the other thing. This show almost has had a quarter-century legacy. Mm-hmm. And Blabbermouth, which is one of the biggest music news outlets in the world, they apparently have the CMS on their Google feed or something.
Yeah, they definitely do.
Because no matter what we post, no matter what time of the day, it hits Blabbermouth within an hour or two.
It's pretty quick a lot of the time, that's for sure.
Yeah, so if you follow Blabbermouth at all, Hat Tip DeBory over there, he publishes just about every single interview that we do.
Yeah, but I don't think he would if they were bad interviews.
And I agree, but we're definitely on their radar. So to be picked up by a music news site that has the the reputation of a blabbermouth,
right?
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think we got 2 up there this week, didn't we? We got Michael Monroe
and Tom Kiefer.
Yeah, both of them got picked up this week. So, yeah, Michael Monroe was a pretty nice guy. He was pretty good.
Well, I've interviewed him, I think, at least twice, if not 3 times over the years.
Yeah, he seems like a good shit.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Yeah, I know he won't be thrilled with the fact that they picked up on the Motley Crue question that I asked him, but
he might actually revel in that.
No, he said point blank in the interview. He's like, He's like, I don't want to even talk about that band. He's like, I don't like that band.
Well,
whatever. I mean, it is what it is. It's definitely, I thought it was a legit question to ask him if he saw the kind of lack of representation that Razzle's death got in the dirt.
Well, but that was a very relevant question, though, because the dirt had so much hype.
Right.
And that one incident in the history of Motley Crue changed the whole landscape for Hanoi Rocks. I mean, that ended the band.
Yeah, it did.
And Vince, obviously he spent 20 days in jail or something?
Some ridiculous short number of days. Yeah.
And it was a historical event in music, hard rock, heavy metal, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And, the thing is when MTV used to be a thing, Vince Neil had to do those PSAs.
Yeah, I remember that.
Remember those where I think he was like riding a motorcycle up through the hills over in California or something. And, hey, I'm Vince Neil from Motley Crue. And, hey, I don't need to drink and drug to have a good time.
No, not at all.
You remember that?
I do. They were awful. They were god-awful PSAs. And meanwhile, he was probably drunk on the set doing them. How long do you think he went from the time he killed Razzle till the time of his next drink?
Well, probably from the time he went to jail to the time they let him out.
You think he had a drink on the way out?
Probably.
That's good. Oh, man.
But even Bobcat Goldthwait, I remember he had one of his HBO specials back in the 80s. And he was talking about Vince Neil, and he goes, "Hi, this is Vince Neil of the Motley Crue. Don't do drugs. I'm not going to do this if that camera keeps melting down, man." I mean, he was doing this whole parody on Vince Neil. It was funny.
It's fun. That's hilarious.
Don't do drugs, kids. Yeah, exactly. So funny. But there you go. Pissing off Bruno Ravel.
Yeah, or Bruce, as he's known.
Bruce Ravel.
Yeah. Well, sorry, Bruno. I really did feel bad about that one.
Dude, how could you do that to a guy from Danger of all things? Jesus.
Not my best moment, that's for damn sure. I was not. That bugged me the whole day. For a fact.
Nobody likes to embarrass themselves and fuck up like that.
But most people would just let it go. Me, I literally thought about it all day. I was like, how could I have been that not prepared? And, you know, how did I not have his name in front of me? You know, because that's usually the one thing that I do is you know, we get those Holics things that have the links to the album,
of course.
the bio and shit.
Yep.
I usually put that up on my screen so that I get names of albums and people right.
I do the same thing.
You know, and I didn't for whatever reason. With this album that has such a fucked up name, I didn't have it in front of me. You know, the name of the album is Zokusho, which I guess means two in Japanese or something. Yeah. I don't know. Or duo or something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's very relatable here in the U.S.
He told me what it meant, and I'll be honest, I didn't pay attention. But
I thought that was that word game you play in the newspaper. Oh, that's Sudoku.
Sudoku or whatever. Yeah, Sudoku. Yeah. I really, really, really did not feel good about that one.
Well, of course not.
And then we did a fine interview. The interview was fine and fun, and you know, and if you're into Danger, you might like his answer. I asked, what a weird band that Defiance is. It's basically Danger. Without Ted Poley, but with Paul Lane, who stood in for Ted Poley.
Right. What was the name of their CD? Cockroach or something?
Yeah, something like that. But it was like, I asked him, I said, well, why isn't this just called Danger? You know, all you guys have been in Danger. Some of you are still in Danger. Why isn't this Danger? And he said, well, you know, I like to have a different, you know, I like to think this is different. And I was like, oh, how can it be that different if it's all guys that were in the fucking band? But, you know, interesting interview. He was fun.
Well, you didn't just come straight out and say, what makes us different if everybody's in the fucking band?
I didn't say fucking, but I did say that. Absolutely did say.
Who are you trying to fool there, Bruce?
Well, I asked him, I said, why is this different than Danger when it's, you know, all guys from Danger?
Yeah. Who are you trying to kid?
Yeah, come on, Bruce.
Yeah, this isn't Eddie Trunk you're talking to, pal.
Yeah.
I do my research.
What's your answer, Bruce?
Yeah, pal.
I do my research. Meanwhile, I can't even get his fucking name right. Dick. And you know what's even more? I wish I had tape of this, too. Before that...
Did you say tape?
Yeah, tape, whatever.
I wish I had tape of this. Who are you, the Rev?
I wish I had MP3 of this. I even asked him how to say his name. That's what really made me crazy.
How do you say your last name, Ravel?
Oh, and that was what I asked him. I said, how do you say your last name? Is it Ravel like gavel or Ravel?
It's Ravel.
Well, it's spelled like gavel. You know, it's spelled like gavel. Gavel is Gavel. His last name is Ravel. So I just wanted to make sure that I didn't go with Ravel and then say, it's Ravel.
Yeah, because Bruno and Bruce sound the same to me, too.
That's the whole point, is that if I asked him about his fucking name, and he clearly said, yeah, it's Bruno Ravel.
Yeah, what is your fucking name anyway?
And then I came right out and just blew it. I asked him his name. He told me his name. I said, okay, let's go. Fuck up the name of the record. Fuck up the name of the guy. It's like, Jesus. I might as well have fucking said that he was in fucking Trickster. You know, I might as well have done that too, because I didn't get anything right. I was pissed. But it is funny to hear it back.
It is. Hail and kill, caller. You're on the air.
The only thing ever good to come out of that band was Andy Timmons, and that's it.
Is that funny, Tim?
He was the only thing that was ever anything. They're so terrible. They're a terrible band.
I happen to like Ted Poley. I think Ted's a good singer.
Well, okay. I'm a bit uneducated. What has he done that's been worth any merit since that?
Well, what have you done that's been any merit since never?
Yeah, no, well that's true. But I've never been signed to a major label. So like,
would you tell that kid to shut the fuck up back there? I'm trying to talk to you.
What's going on there, Tim?
My daughter is talking on FaceTime.
Facepalm?
With one of her school friends.
Is she talking about the Braves being called scalped?
No, FaceTime with one of her school friends.
Oh, FaceTime.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell her to shut the fuck up?
Yes, I will.
See, I made Tim laugh. Look at that, Chris. I made Tim laugh because I told him to tell his the product of his loins to shut up, and he thought that was funny.
All right, what do you want?
Have
Tim?
you guys talked about the Metallica thing yet?
What Metallica thing are you making reference to, Tim?
Well, okay. Now, I wasn't even going to this show.
Oh, okay? So you're talking about the canceled shows? Is that what you're making reference to?
Yes.
Okay, we talked about this 2 weeks ago, and I'm on the I'm being tied to the whipping post because I said it was a farce.
No, I think you were right, Neeley. I think you were right. Because 2 weeks after announcing that James Hetfield's going to rehab, they announced festival shows.
Yeah, for next summer.
Well, I mean, in some kind of monster, wasn't the guy in rehab for like a year?
I think they're safe in booking shows 10 months out, Tim. I think they'll be okay.
Your kid is out of control. Tim, I'm distracted by your child. Could you go to a different room?
All right, I'll let you guys go. But it's just, and that combined with the ticketing scandal, Metallica sucks. They couldn't give a rip about the fans at all.
I agree, Tim. Metallica sucks, and they fucked the fans over.
Well, they did. Are you going to tell me that Live Nation thing with the worldwide tour that didn't fuck the fans over?
Hey, easy. It's a family show, Tim.
Well,
Jesus.
I'll let you guys go.
Oh my God.
Bye.
Couldn't live in that house. I couldn't live there.
Oh my God.
Could you imagine that? I know you had a daughter yourself, but she wasn't like some screaming wanker.
That shit was never going to happen in my house.
Mm-mm.
I'd have put them out. I'd have been, go outside with that shit.
Yeah. This screaming on FaceTime?
Yeah. Move it. Outside. 2 a.m, don't care. Outside.
Well, it doesn't look like my assessment may not be so far off.
Well, we will see, won't we?
Yeah.
I don't see that the festival shows announced for next summer or
have any effect on what happened this year. I agree. I mean, that's next year. It's 2020.
Yeah. And to be honest, I wasn't all that enthused about that announcement either. Who the fuck wants to go and see the same band twice in 2 days?
Yeah. Well, they're going to play a different set, man.
Good. Fantastic. And at fucking $150 a day. I can't wait.
Well, maybe on the first night of the show, maybe you'll get Happy James, and maybe the second night you'll get Fucked Up James.
You know what I'm going to get? No tickets, because I'm not going.
No, I'm not going to that.
It's here. I mean, it's at Sonic Temple, which is formerly Rock on the Range. I have zero interest. I'm not going to that. Fuck that.
Yeah, pal.
Yeah, pal.
You're going to have to do without my 150.
Yeah, 300. Got to go both nights if you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll pass.
Yeah, I'll pay. I'll spend that on a hooker who will suck my dick.
That's right. Be a lot better than fucking Happy James.
Right, exactly.
You know, friends, I just want to thank you for standing by me in my difficult time last year. And here's a song that I wrote about that time. Unforgiven 3.
Oh my God.
Yeah. No, thank you. You know I love Metallica, but I'm not going to that. No way.
Well, and to be honest, I mean, you went not long ago, and you were so unhappy with the experience and your seats and everything.
And maybe it's because I'm getting old, but do you even like those festivals anymore?
No, of course not. I never liked them when I was younger.
Yeah, I mean, I did at one point. I mean, I always talk about Day on the Green, and that is my, top tier show ever.
Now here, let's break that down a little bit, okay?
Okay.
Day on the Green. Okay, granted, you had some really class entertainment acts.
Yes.
So who was there? You said Soundgarden, Metallica,
Faith No More, and Queensryche.
Okay, that was it. Just those three.
Those four. Yeah, 4 bands total. Metallica, Faith No More, Queensryche, and Soundgarden.
Okay, so you had actually 4 good bands.
Yes, and they were all on arguably their best music.
Okay, all right.
Metallica, that was day one of the Black Album, which even if you hate the Black Album, they played mostly old stuff. So you had Metallica on day one of the Black Album tour.
Okay.
You had Queensryche early on in the Empire tour.
Okay.
You had Faith No More on the Angel Dust tour.
Okay.
And had Soundgarden on Bad Motorfinger.
Okay. So 4 bands with 4 of their top albums on release at that time.
Correct.
Okay. All right. Second, okay, so the talent was there.
Sure.
Second of all, who did you go to the show with?
Friends.
So these were buds of yours?
Yeah, they were guys that I was in the military with.
So you didn't drag a pain in the ass chick along?
Absolutely not.
Okay. So this was actually a good day where you didn't have some emotional fucked up female getting pissed off about God knows what. It was 4 buds hanging out.
Mm-hmm.
Now, did you drink at the show?
Oh my God, yes.
Well, I'm asking the question.
Yes, we started drinking. I told this story before.
Well, I'm breaking this down. I'm breaking it down.
We started drinking at like 9, 10 o'clock, driving up. We stopped at all the wine places and sampled all the wine on the way to San Francisco.
Okay.
Or Oakland, rather.
All right. And then you were out in the main audience. You weren't like up by the stage or anything.
Oh, no, I was by the stage.
Oh, you were by the stage.
I was moshing the whole time.
All right. So those are all the elements that made that the greatest day, because number one, you had 4 really good bands they were all at the top of their game at the same time.
Right.
You had 4 good buds that enjoyed that music too.
Right.
No chicks who were giving you any trouble that day.
Right.
And you were drinking.
Mm-hmm.
How was the weather?
Perfect.
Weather was perfect. So all of those things made that day absolutely the best it could be.
Correct.
All right. No wonder it was like one of the best memorable concert experiences you've ever had.
Sure.
So, understandably, yeah, that would be a great show.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
Perfect.
Nothing will ever beat it. I can't imagine anything will beat it, but I just go to the festivals now and they're just not the same. I don't know if it's that I'm older and
no. What you experienced was a perfect storm.
Yeah. Yeah, because I've seen other bands that I like a little more.
Yeah, but it didn't have all the elements at the same time.
Well, I'll give you an example of one. It's not even in my top 10, and it was right around the same time. And it was kind of perfect. All those elements are the same, but it just wasn't as good. Maybe it was just because I had already seen Metallica, I don't know, X number of times. But I went and saw, remember Metallica and Guns N' Roses did the tour together.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I went to Pittsburgh and saw it, and it was Metallica, Guns N' Roses, or it was Faith No More opened, Guns N' Roses, or Metallica, and then Guns N' Roses.
Okay, so where did you see that? Was that at the amphitheater there?
Outside.
It's the amphitheater.
Yeah. Yeah, wherever. Well, I don't know. I was really drunk.
Okay.
But yeah, I saw that show, and it wasn't as good, but it was, you know, the weather was fine, the bands played fine. Just maybe there was no element of surprise to it or something. I don't know.
Well, who did you go with?
Friends, just local friends here. I was in 92 or 3 or something.
Okay.
You know, just local friends here. We drove to Pittsburgh and made a day of it.
Now,
Same day.
Now, were you on the lawn or were you in the pavilion?
I was in a pavilion.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it was. I don't know what it was. It just wasn't the same. And again, it could just been that, you know, I saw Metallica several times in between there too. I saw them in Sacramento. I saw them in Reno. I saw them in a second time in San Francisco. I saw them in Cleveland. I saw them in Pittsburgh.
Well, yeah, you saw them a lot then.
Saw them a lot. Oh yeah, dude, I saw them on the Black Album tour. I saw them probably 15 times.
Well, there you go. I mean, you know, I appreciate going to see a band numerous times, but 15 times in a year?
Oh, okay, Dockin' guy.
I don't see them 15 times in a year.
What if they were close?
No, come on now. I go maybe 3 times a year.
Get the fuck.
What are you talking about?
Dude, it seems like you go about every 2 months.
It's not true. I was with them 3 times this year.
Seems like more.
It's not that much.
How many times have you seen Dockin'?
Overall?
90?
No.
50?
Maybe 50. But
right,
that's over like a 30-year period though.
Yeah, because I've seen Metallica 42 times, I believe. They're by far the most I've ever seen a band.
I've seen Chicago 55 times.
Phew.
But that's over, 40 some years.
Yeah. God, I hate that we're this fucking old.
I know.
That the numbers add up.
I mean, there's been times where I saw Chicago probably 3 times in a year.
Yeah.
But as far as like Dockin', it may seem like a lot, but I see them maybe 3, maybe 4 times a year at the most.
It seems like a lot more.
It's not a lot. Trust me, it's not.
I believe you. It just seems like a lot more.
Mm-mm. Not very often. I mean, it's in a whole year, the three times is not much.
Other than Dockin', because you're friends with them, who have you seen the most?
Chicago,
and then who?
Let me see. Who have I seen? Boy, the rest of them, I would say that I've seen Queensryche probably 20 times.
Okay.
I've seen. Let me think who I've gone to see quite a few times. I've seen Tesla. I've probably seen them 20 times. In that range.
And probably those, even though you're not huge fans of the bands like Warrant and stuff, because you used to see them on all those.
Yeah, because they were on those package tours.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So you probably saw them 10, 15 times.
At least, yeah, I'm sure.
Them, Slaughter, Poison.
Probably.
Sebastian.
Yep. Lita.
See? Lita, I'm trying to think if I've ever seen Lita.
Well, if you go, early in 2 weeks, you will see her.
Yeah.
And she puts on a good show. I mean, it's not, whether you like her or not, or whether you like her music or not, she still puts on a good show.
I just have never been a fan of Lita Ford.
Well, like I said, even if you're a fan or not, she still puts on a solid show.
Yeah. I'm sure she does. I just don't know that I care. She had one song that I liked once. There's a song called Hungry.
Okay.
You know that song, Hungry?
I do.
That's like the only song I ever liked. I hated Close My Eyes Forever.
Well, that was a big commercial hit.
They beat that fucker into the ground. Oh, and I just remember it was constant. That song and fucking Extreme with More Than Words or Wholehearted.
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of that at all.
And they just beat you over the head with those songs. Was like, oh, and Def Leppard at the time. Remember, they would play those three and then some Def Leppard song, whether it would be Pour Some Sugar or Love Bites or, I Gotta Get So Excitable. All those fucking songs.
Sure.
Just made me hate that music at the time. That is the exact time that I got into much, much, much heavier music almost exclusively. Because I got so tired of that onslaught of syrup music.
Mm-hmm.
It just got to be too much for me.
I'm going to text you over probably, I'm not a major Lita fan. I think she's okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a big fan. I think maybe I own like her greatest hits or something.
Okay.
But as far as meeting her on several occasions and chatting with her for a few minutes each time, she's always been really nice.
Yeah, I'm sure she is. As long as you don't have her kids with you.
Well, again, I'm going to send you over a picture, and I think it's a good picture because she was really friendly and just really very kind.
Right.
And I'm gonna text this over to you, but that's one of my favorite pictures with her.
Let me see. Send it?
Yeah.
Did I get it?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Which phone is your actual phone? Is it the 219 or is it the 330?
The 216.
Or whatever, yeah. The 216 is the actual phone?
Yeah, that's the actual phone.
Okay. Because I never know which one is which.
Yeah, she looks pretty good there.
Oh, you see it?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a good picture.
Oh. Yeah, she looks pretty good there.
Yeah. But I ran into her at the NAMM show. She was, sitting basically right in front of me, and I went over and talked to her for a couple of minutes and grabbed that photo with her.
He said, "Hey, baby."
But she always remembers me, though.
Well, that's nice. I'm sure she's not. I don't know her. I just don't know her. Because I wasn't a fan, I did not go out of my way to see her. I'm sure, the funny part is I'm positive that she played probably a half dozen shows that I was at, but I used to stay in the parking lot if I hated the fucking opening band. I would just drink, we would bring a case of beer or two and we'd put it in the trunk and we'd get to the show and we would just figure, well, the main band's going to go on at like 8:30 or so we'll go in at 8:30.
I getcha.
And then we would just drink our way to 8:30 and we always missed the fucking opening bands.
See, that's the whole difference between you and me as far as our live show experiences. Your live show experiences always involve copious amounts of alcohol.
Fucking right, yeah.
But me, I actually went to see the band and see the show and listen to the music. It was never about the whole party and the drinking and all that, because I never did that.
I'm too hypercritical when I'm sober. When I go to a show and I'm sober, I'm way over critiquing everything. When I go to a show with a good buzz, especially now, I mean, in the old days, I used to get fucked up. But now I just have like a few drinks, 3-4 drinks at a show. And I like that because I get nice and smoothed out. And then I just kind of let the music sort of flow. Like, I'll tell you one that probably I would have not liked as much if I hadn't been kind of buzzed up a little bit.
Okay.
Was Glenn Hughes.
All right.
I saw Glenn Hughes do the Deep Purple show. Kelly and I both, we had like 3 or 4 drinks before we left. And then we had like 2 drinks there. So once we got there, got in our seats and had a couple of doubles, I was like, all right, got a nice buzz going. Got that psychedelic lighting going on.
Right.
Hughes sounded awesome, or maybe he didn't, but he sounded awesome to me.
It might not have even been a very good show, but as long as I was kind of buzzed up, it sounded great to me.
Well, I'm not going to lie to you. When I got the MP3s, I was less enthused about the show as than I was when I was sitting there watching it.
Okay.
And I know that has a lot to do with the amplification and everything else, but I was in a good mental head place, nice, mellowed out, just chilling out, watching some Glenn Hughes and was like, fuck yeah, this rocks, But that's how I like it to be. I like having just a little bit of a buzz going when I go to any of that stuff, or else I get bored. I do. I get bored at shows a lot now because I've been to too many shows. And you've probably been to them too. But there is a thing about once you've been to like 1,000 fucking concerts, the minute it's not great, it's awful at least to me.
Right.
Like, if I see a band and I'll use Tesla as an example, and I don't really have a reason. I'm just picking them out of the hat. If I see Tesla today, let's just say they were playing here tomorrow, and I went to the show, and the first 4 or 5 songs sucked or just were not great. They just didn't sound great. I would leave. I would not stay. I'd be like, fuck this. They've lost it. I'm out. Because I've seen them so many times that I've seen them be great. So now I almost can't see them be average. Are you like that or no?
Yeah, well, I agree with that. And there's very few shows that I've left. I can basically count them on one hand. Mm-hmm. But Poison was on their tour with, it was Poison, Damn Yankees, and Firehouse.
Okay.
Stayed through Firehouse. They didn't give them any amplification. That kind of sounded like a garage band.
Okay.
Because they basically didn't get any effects at all.
Right.
Damn Yankees came out, just ripped the place, ripped the roof off the place.
Right.
They were fantastic. Then Poison came out, and they just shoved all the faders up to 15. And it sounded like a roar. I mean, it was terrible. It was at Blossom Music Center. This was like 1993 or 94. Yeah. I'm going to think it was 94.
Was it Richie Kotzen era? Or
it was the Kotzen era.
Yeah, okay.
And it was so bad, I couldn't stay through about the 3rd song, and I left. It was just that bad. It was unlistenable.
Why did you go? To see Poison?
No, I went to see Damn Yankees.
Okay. Yeah. I was going to say,
they were on their 2nd record at that point.
Okay, so yeah. I mean, I would have stayed to see Damn Yankees, but I would have left the minute they did.
Damn Yankees was fantastic.
Sure.
And then Poison came out, and like I said, about the 3rd song in, I was just like, I'm fucking out of here.
Right. Yeah.
So I left. And the other show that comes to mind that I went to see Zakk Wylde.
Mm-hmm.
And he was playing the House of Blues, and I went there, maybe stayed 4 songs at the most. Yeah. And I was just like, I can't take this. I'm out of here.
Too loud and too many people.
Yeah, that's basically what it was.
I've walked on Zakk before.
And it was just like, I can't take this.
I've walked out on Zakk before, same reason, at House of Blues. And I didn't, he was just here, last week or something, and I didn't go. And the reason I didn't go is because he played fucking House of Blues, and I hate the room.
Mm-hmm.
I can't see. They always oversell it, and then you gotta fight to be crammed together, and I'm not gonna do that anymore. I'm just not doing it.
Mm-hmm.
But dude, I've walked out on dozens of bands. I've walked out on Judas Priest a couple of times. I've walked out on Skid Row, the current Skid Row, or the Solinger Skid Row. I guess that's not the current Skid Row. That's like 2 Skid Rows ago. I walked out on the Solinger era once. Walked out on LA Guns when they played. Remember that show they played? I think you were at it, and I walked out on it. It was they were playing for like $10 at the Revolution or something. And it was like our friend Annette was like calling it her birthday party.
Yeah, I remember that.
Remember that? And they were just terrible. In fact, I've walked out on LA Guns twice because I walked out on that and I walked out at the Odeon when they did the American Hardcore.
Oh, yeah. I didn't stay for that either. That's another one. I actually did walk out on that one.
Walked out on that. Walked out on Ozzy when it was Ozzy, Korn, and Deftones.
Yeah, that was at the Gund Arena.
Yeah, I watched the first two waiting to get to Ozzy because Zach was playing, and it just got to be Ozzy came out and he sounded like shit, and I was like, you know what? Fuck this.
Yeah, what was that album? It was See You on the Other Side was on that record.
Osmosis.
Yeah, Osmosis. I went to that.
Yeah, he stinks. You know, I've obviously walked out on several festivals early. You know, the festivals, I almost never stay for the headliner for the festivals, because if I've been there since noon, I don't give a shit who's headlining. It better be somebody I've never seen before, and they're my favorite band ever. Because after 12 hours of sun and fighting in the mosh pit and everything else with people, I'm just done. I'm roasted. I don't want any more of it. Just let me go home. So, yeah, I've walked out on a shit ton of bands. I've walked out on Megadeth. It was Megadeth, maybe Cold Chamber and somebody else. I think I was with you and I walked out. In Akron? Was that Akron?
Yeah, that might have been at the Rhodes Arena.
It was a smaller room. I know that. It might have been Rhodes. But I left that show because I got bored with Megadeth. You know, Mustaine was just kind of standing in the middle of the stage, bobbing his head and fucking playing. And I was like, all right, I'm bored with this. I'm out. Done. But again, you know, a big part of it for me is that I've seen all these bands how many times?
Yeah. And when and I agree with you, when you see them at the top of their game and then you see them in a diminished form, you're not interested anymore.
Yeah. Well, it's, you know, the Metallica thing is a prime example. You know, Metallica, they were untouchable. And even if you're not a Metallica fan, if you saw them from 82 to 90, about 94, they were untouchable live. They were as good as anybody ever has been live. Just ferocious. And then I saw them the one year. I actually have the poster on my wall in the other room. It was Metallica with Jerry Cantrell and Tantric were the bands. And right away, that tells you that's a bad Metallica show.
Yeah, that Tantric used to be, what, Days of the New?
Days of the New.
Without Travis Meeks?
Yeah, just fucking shit. And then, you know, Alice in Chains guy. And that wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. It was him and Chris DeGarmo, you know, which was pretty cool, actually. But Metallica came out, played a dull show of all new stuff. Then they finally get to the point where they're like, all right, we're going to play some old stuff. Who wants to hear the old shit? Everybody's, fuck yeah. They fucking come out, bring out stools. They sit on the fucking stools. And do acoustic versions of, like, Fight Fire with Fire and, you know, Kill 'Em All and shit. I was like, what the fuck is this, Phantom Lord? I was like, what is this shit? And then they went back to playing, you know, like Enter Sandman and Sad But True. I was like, fuck this. This stinks. The only reason I didn't leave that one was because I wanted to get an autograph from Omar Vizquel, who was sitting next to us. So I waited till the end of the show, got my autograph from Omar Vizquel, and then left in fucking sulking sorrow. Because I was pissed off that I fucking wasted all that time at that fucking show. It was just a shitty show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've walked out on bunches of bands.
I think I walked out on an Iron Maiden show, what was it, like 10 years ago when they were doing that full, which
Matter of Life and Death?
That might have been it.
No, the one with These Colors Don't Run. That wasn't a Matter of Life and Death. That was... What was that album called? I don't even remember.
It wasn't The Book of Souls, was it?
That's the most current one. What is that album called? It's got the cannon on the cover. Not Dance of Death. Not Matter... Where's Iron Maiden wiki? I'll know it as soon as I see it. I can't believe I'm spacing on this. That's one of those records I don't listen to anyway, so it's no wonder I don't know.
I think I walked out about maybe halfway through that one.
Yeah, that was a bad show for you too, because that not only was that, you know, a bad album, but didn't you also have to sit through like Bullet for My Valentine?
It was,
or something?
yeah, they did open.
Ugh, that's painful there. Oh, it was a matter of life and death. All right, yeah, it was a matter of life and death.
Yeah.
That's a bad show there. Fucking Bullet for My Valentine, followed by them playing that fucking dog of a record. Woo. Yeah, pass. Although it does have that tribute to Richie Blackmore on that. Did you know that?
No, I wasn't aware.
The song's called The Pilgrim.
Yeah, neither do I care.
Yeah, it's a tribute to Richie Blackmore. It's The Pilgrim.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's where that is.
Yeah. Well, I did notice again in the chat room how many Deep Purple photos are in there.
I'm not even looking today. I'm
I mean,
starting my.
It's almost a sickness. It's really a bizarre thing. So this is what I'm going to do on Monday.
Okay.
I'm going to call the state welfare service, and I'm going to have them do a in-house check, and I'm going to basically tell them that I'm a uncle of Jackal, even though I'm younger,
right? And
tell them that I'm really worried about his mental condition, and if they need anybody to sign any kind of waivers to have him committed for any kind of, electroshock therapy or, any kind of, 24-hour observation and care, I would be glad to sign those papers right away.
Nice.
Because I'm really concerned about the mental health, and if he has any firearms in the house, that they need to be removed immediately.
Just his guitars, man. Yeah, I have not even been paying attention to the chat room tonight.
It's really bizarre.
I'm done with seeing fucking retarded Deep Purple pictures.
It's weird though.
Have at it. Post them all. I
mean,
don't care.
for a guy who's in his 60s, to have that many photos of like other dudes, you got to wonder: is there something that we don't know there? I mean, you got to wonder about that.
You saying that maybe Richie Blackmore was knocking on Jackal's back door?
I don't know.
Is that what you're saying?
I mean, there's really no real delineable explanation as to whose back door they're knocking on.
Yeah. True.
I mean, it's left to the imagination.
Do you think Jackal would let Richie knock on his back door?
Oh, absolutely.
Thanks for sure.
Yeah, that's a foregone conclusion.
Would he let Richie fuck him in the ass without the pilgrim hat on?
Yeah, absolutely.
Think so?
Mm-hmm.
You think? All right, let's play the game with Jackal.
All right.
You think that Jackal would let Richie stick the end of his guitar in his ass a little bit and then fucking Dirty Sanchez him with the tip of his guitar?
Well, they do call it the headstock of the guitar. So, I mean, it is a phallic symbol.
Yeah.
So getting railed in the ass with the head of a guitar and then Dirty Sanchez with it. Yeah, I think that would be a dream come true.
Do you think that Jackal would take a dildo if it was any other color than a deep purple?
No. Well, let me think. Would it have any kind of indication that it's actually a deep purple dildo?
Well, it would be colored that way, and then it would.
But would it have like a logo or an emblem on it?
Maybe. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Let's go yes and no. One, yes, it has a logo or it has deep purple edged in it in vein.
Okay.
In veinage.
Yeah. So the veins of this veiny dildo cock.
Yeah.
Spells out deep purple.
Right.
Oh yeah. That's.
You take that one.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
Well, probably true.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Probably would. Do you think that he would have gay sex with a fan that just had a deep purple patched jacket?
I think that's a bit of a stretch.
Think of his asshole, or just a stretch in general?
Well, just a stretch in general, but
okay.
Yeah. Now, if it was a male Deep Purple fan that just said, "I just sucked Richie's cock," can I fuck you in the ass now? I think the answer would be yes.
If Richie Blackmore just came in, let's start with Candace's mouth, and she was holding the cum, do you think Jim would fucking take it baby bird style?
Yeah, absolutely.
Just drip his cum into his mouth.
Well, that wouldn't be so gay because it was coming out of the mouth of a female, but, we're not worried about it being gay or not. It's just...
But it was no Blackmore's cum.
Yeah, of course.
Would he take Blackmore's cum from a male fan, from another man?
Probably.
You think so? He probably...
I mean, why would you waste it? No matter what the source was.
If Jackal could buy Richie Blackmore's cum for any reason, do you think he would?
Well, he's bought the Japanese versions of the CD sets. Why not?
I was going to say only if it was made in Japan.
Yeah.
But...
yeah, why not?
Too funny.
Yeah, it'd be in a vial. It would be right up there next to the collection. It's like, what is that? What is that? Well, that's Richie Blackmore's cum. He blew that on a hooker in Japan.
If Richie Blackmore shit himself on stage, do you think Jackal would buy that pair of underwear and put it in a frame on his wall?
Oh, yeah. That's not even a question.
Without washing it?
Yeah, not even a question.
Do you think he'd take a sniff?
Probably.
You think he would smell it to see if Richie Blackmore shit smelled differently than regular people shit?
Well, no matter how it smelled, in his mind, it would smell like a rose.
Do you think he would buy a box of Richie Blackmore's dog's shit?
I think you're going out on a limb here.
I mean, Richie touches it every day, the dog, that is. And he feeds it. So in essence, Richie created that shit.
I think you're really going out on a limb. I mean, I'm not going to say yes or no, but I think you might be just exploring the outer limits too much. There might be a limit. I don't know.
If Richie was about to put his dog down, would Jackal buy it instead of having Richie?
Yeah, he would definitely buy the corpse of the dog and have it, stuffed. Kind of like Trigger, kind of like Roy Rogers does with Trigger.
Right.
Yeah, he would definitely have Richie Blackmore's dog stuffed on on his mantelpiece.
Whose cock would Jim take first? Neil Morse or Tommy Thayer?
Well, being that he has such a problem with Tommy, I think that he has a secret affection for Tommy, to be honest with you.
You think so?
Yeah, it's kind of like when you were in grade school and it was like, ew, girls, but you secretly liked them. It's the same thing.
You think that's what's going on with Jim?
I think so.
Who would he rather have sex with? Richie Blackmore or any member of Night Demon?
Richie Blackmore, of course.
Over Night Demon?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Now, would it if it was a question of Richie Blackmore solo or Night Demon gangbang?
Yeah.
It would take all members of Night Demon to equal one Richie Blackmore. So I think it would equal out.
Okay. 2 gangbangs from Night Demon or one taking it from behind from Richie Blackmore?
I think that 2 gangbangs might rule out Richie Blackmore by himself, but if Richie Blackmore wore the hat, it would trump the the two gangbangs by Night Demon.
What if you told Jim he could suck Richie Blackmore's dick, but only if it was on national television? Do you think he does it?
That's a good question.
And while he's doing it, Richie will play "Smoke on the Water."
Oh, yeah, well, that would definitely. I mean, that there's no question about that.
Would you buy a ticket to the pay-per-view?
If I knew it was a guaranteed thing, yes, I would actually buy a ticket.
All right, enough of this. Because I'll keep going all fucking night long, and you know I will. Too funny.
Kind of makes you not like Deep Purple anymore. If you ever liked them to begin with.
I was never that big of a fan, so it really isn't. It really wasn't that big of a deal to me. So.
Well, I mean, as long as everybody has their own fetishes.
Yeah, I guess so.
I mean, whatever works, whatever trips your trigger.
Yep.
So good luck with that.
Have fun.
Enjoy.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a short break, shall we?
All right.
And since you brought it up, I'm going to play this one for Jackal, and, he can basically relieve himself. So close your eyes. Take a deep breath.
Mm-hmm.
Just get in that zone.
Right.
Just imagine Richie just attending to your back door, because here it is. This is Deep Purple exclusively here.
On your classic metal show.